Okay, so tonight we are going into details of this Noxxa low sugar rice cooker. Okay, if you still remember or you joined our house meeting last week, you will remember that we have talked about the topic of carbohydrate, all about carbohydrate. And at the end of the sharing, I actually briefly go through some of the information on this rice cooker. Okay, but tonight we're going into detail, and this is actually the official data and also information released by Amway. So I think it will be beneficial for us to learn from here. And at the same time, also we have to align our understanding and awareness why we are actually promoting this unit. Okay, and how it can actually help people and also our friends that are actually looking for it. Okay, so of course, the first that we need to know why this product has been launched in Malaysia is because we all Malaysian love rice, right? Okay, so imagine today you go out, okay, whether you go to the fast food, you go to local food, or even you go to the Western restaurant, right? They have all been localized to meet our local taste. So even today, if you go into the fast food restaurant, you will still see some rice option, okay? Because they have to meet some of the local flavor. Okay, a lot of people are still looking for rice even if they go to cafe or whatsoever. So definitely there will be option like fried rice, a normal one, or even they have a nasi lemak. Okay, so we can't run away from rice, especially for those who already have the habit to cook at home, right? They will also cook rice together, okay, for their meals, right? So why some say that white rice is actually a big no-no in weight management. So now we relate it to weight management is because we all know and we all agree that obesity is already a very serious problem, especially in Malaysia. The statistic is showing 40% of Malaysian is actually obese. So that means with that ratio, if you go out if you are on the street, you meet two people, there will be likely one of them already have weight problem or obesity issue. Okay, so we all know that white rice also become one of the big contributor in this issue due to our diet habit lah. So like I mentioned just now, rice can't run away from our daily life, and some typical Malaysian even take like rice 3 times a day. Okay, breakfast nasi lemak, and then lunch probably the zap fan or mixed rice, and then dinner probably they order something like nasi goreng or whatsoever. So can you imagine like 3 meals also contain rice? So definitely our carbohydrate intake will exceed or overdose. Okay, so why is a big no-no? This is a true fact because in white rice is very high in the starch, and it's also very high in the GI, which is the glycemic index. So if you have attended last week my explanation, you should already know what is GI means, right? GI means how fast the carbohydrate will be transformed into sugar once we eat it. So the food with a high GI, that means it will fluctuate your sugar level in your bloodstream even faster. So the low GI food, normally it will not affect or fluctuates your blood sugar level that fast. So it actually provide a more stable. But unfortunately, white rice is the one that with high GI. So that means the moment you eat white rice, you feel very energetic. So you will immediately, your body will release insulin to transfer it into energy. And then the faster this happen, the faster you will get hungry again. Okay, so that's the downside of GI because white rice is normally a very refined rice. So it actually very easy for our body to digest into glucose. So in this slide, you'll be able to see how this starch will be break down by our body and transfer into energy. But so first of all, I think last week we also touched base on starch is actually one types of carbohydrate out of a 3 main category. If you still remember, the other 2 categories is basically sugar and also fiber. So it's also a form of carbohydrate made of long chain glucose molecule. Okay, so this long chain molecule, once it go into our bodies, right, in the digestion process, it actually convert into glucose. So glucose is actually the basic energy fuel that body can recognize and immediately use it to produce energy. Okay, what if at the moment we we do not need that much of energy. Imagine the whole plate of nasi goreng, but then after that, after you eat, immediately you go back to your office and then you just sit there and work, right? We don't really consume a lot of those calories. So here has been explained to us also with the overconsumption of this kind of rice intake plus sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle, that means you didn't do anything extra or any big adjustment, just a normal lifestyle. So those excess will actually be stored in our body as glycogen. Glycogen, I also explained in the previous sharing, is a type of carbohydrate also, but it's a form of carbohydrate being stored in our body most of the time in muscle or in our liver for later use. Okay, but unfortunately, if let's say on the daily basis we are overdosed, we are consuming this rice, right? When is the chance that this fat will be used later? No, right? Because every day you have given more than enough the carbohydrate supplies to our body. So that is the reason why all these accumulations of fat will potentially lead to the obesity and also other complications in our body. So it's not fair that we say rice directly contribute to obesity, but it's fair to say that rice is definitely one of the reasons that contribute to obesity. Okay, so here also briefly explain to us the GI, the importance of understanding GI measurement and how particular food affect our blood sugar after it's consumed. So the higher the GI score, it will actually cause rapid absorption of glucose and sharp rise in the glucose level and also insulin level after eating. And then one side effect of it is actually you'll crave for food even faster. If let's say your normal diet is always go to the high GI food choice. So if you have knowledge, you have nutrition awareness, you always try to go for the lower GI food category, which is, I have explained also, vegetable, fruits, and fibers. Okay, so you can always refer back to our previous sharing in the YouTube. Okay, and here also mentioned in the bottom that there's also a warning: eating large amount of rice on a regular basis, as per I explained, first of all, not only you easily feel craving and hungry, you also feel tired very fast because the energy being consumed and being stored immediately as fat very fast. So you feel tired after that. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you have this experience. If let's say you have the experience that always after meal and then when you back to work, you feel tired, exhausted, and then you keep yawning. Okay, so that is a sign of something wrong with your diet plan already. Okay, so if let's say you able to do some minor adjustment or rely on some of the technology that we're going to share tonight, then it definitely will improve your life quality, and at the same time you also reduce all these side effects that we mentioned, and also more serious if it will actually increase the risk of diabetic and also other health hazard. Diabetes is definitely closely related to high sugar intake and also high calorie intake of food, okay, especially diabetic type 2. Okay, so here we want to learn together and also understand how much sugar is in our rice, whether we know or not. Because sometimes when we go to eat, you'll notice some people or some of your friends always like to add rice, add one more bowl, okay? So certain people can even add up to 2 bowls of rice if let's say they go for the dining, okay? Because they feel that, oh, I eat more rice and then I feel more full, okay? If I just eat dishes, maybe not full enough. But do they realize that actually 1 cup of cooked white rice provide already 53.4 grams of carbohydrate? So most of it is actually starch and very small amount of fiber and sugar already. Why? Initially, one paddy, paddy rice is actually very rich in fiber. Okay, but then once it's refined to white rice, right, the fiber has been taken away from it. So the remaining is majority starch and also sugar. Okay, so after digestion, the carbohydrate and starch will actually break down to about the same amount of sugar found in 13 teaspoons, okay, of sugar. So one cup of the cooked rice, 13 teaspoons. Okay, so it's even worse than things that we thought is the culprit of high sugar intake. For example, things that we drank sometime Milo or some carbonate drinks outside. Okay, so this is actually 13 teaspoon. So it's even higher. So you can imagine certain people who have the diabetic or weight issue, when you ask them, they say, oh, I already cut, I didn't drink sweet beverage, I didn't take this candy, I don't eat ice cream. But if you ask them one more last question, do you take noodles, do you take rice? The answer is yes, and you will be quite surprisingly, they are taking a very huge portion. Because if let's say this is the case, doesn't matter how much they cut in terms of the candy, beverage, or the ice cream and so on, they are still taking so much of sugar on the daily basis. So how do they want to really control their weight? It will become one of the critical factor. Okay, so overconsumption of white rice. At a 1 year, white rice consumption was significantly associated with higher risk of body weight. Okay, on average, you will give our body gain of about 3 kilo, okay, on a daily basis if you consume for 1 year. Okay, so people who regularly eat large amount of white rice have higher risk of diabetic and also metabolic syndrome because the fluctuation of the insulin hormone and also blood sugar keep fluctuating every day, then it will actually affect our metabolism rate of our body also. So it actually increased the risk by 11%, especially the type 2 diabetic, as per I mentioned just now. Okay, so if we have this understanding now, our thinking is, of course, we try to reduce the intake of carbohydrate on white rice, right? But at the same time, we also cannot totally just control on the consumption. Sometimes we will still have to like eat in, especially in current economy not so good, right? So people will like tend to, okay, cook more at home. So if you cook more at home, you will be consuming white rice also. If let's say you are cooking dishes for families and few family members eating together. But when the consumption has to go on, another way for us to solve the issue to actually reduce the starch in the rice. So if let's say to reduce the starch in rice, without this cooker, we can do it also, but it's the traditional way. Okay, so the traditional way is very troublesome, and at the same time, it might also affect the taste of your rice. Okay, so first of all, on the left hand side, you can see you can reduce it using drain and also wash the half-cooked rice. So when we say half-cooked, can you imagine you cook your rice halfway, and then you take out, and then you go and wash the rice, and then you have to drain it, and then put it back and continue to cook. Another way is actually to soak our rice for 30 minutes before cook. So you will be, sometimes if let's say you stay with your grandparents before, you'll notice that last time the old people, they normally will soak the rice for a while before they cook. Okay, but in the past, people normally they have housewife in every family, but nowadays do you have most of the family, I would say is not so much of housewife already. I mean both of the parents or both of the couple will be working. Okay, so if they are working, then you don't have so much time to like soak the rice and then only cook, right? And it takes you just 30 minutes to just soak the rice. So in short, it's actually troublesome, it's not so effective, it's time consuming, and at the same time, it's also very difficult to control. How do you know need to rinse how many times? How do you know soak 30 minutes, it will reduce by how many percent the starch in the rice, right? So we know this is the thing that we can do, but somehow we are unable to do it consistently, and we are unable to do it with a good measurement. So that is the reason why now, with the help of technology and a lot of scientific certification, we will be sure with this cooker, it can get up to a 41% less starch in the rice that we cook. Okay, so it's already launching for this Noxxa low sugar rice cooker on the 1st of November 2022. But like I said, if let's say we do not place the advance order, do watch out on the 15th, which is 3 days away from now. Okay, so to understand this product better, I think we need to know also how it actually helps us to reduce that 41% of starch. So first of all, the process of this cooker all being done automatically once you press the button, but it's just letting us know there are actually 3 stages that will be running in this cooker once you press that functionality to go for the low sugar rice. Okay, so first of all, the machine will actually help you to soak the rice in the water, and then you will boil it in a high temperature, and then that water itself will actually circulate in and out of the ceramic strainer. So you will have to put the rice in the ceramic strainer, and then you actually remove the unhealthy starch from the rice grain. After that, in the stage 2, you will come to the leaching process. So this leaching process is whereby the rice starch will leach into the water in the inner pot, because underneath your ceramic strainer, right, they will have an inner pot. So this inner pot is actually to collect and also to isolate the rice from the remaining, which remains in the ceramic strainer. Okay, and then when it comes to the stage 3, the cooker will start to steam the rice. So when the rice is cooked using a precise temperature control for optimal simmering and also steaming process. So on the bottom here, you can see the picture. Once you cook, you will be able to see the water collected in the stainless steel inner pot, right, contain this RDS. RDS also I have explained in the previous sharing, which is the highest digestibility of starch in carbohydrate. Okay, so this is the one that we don't want, because this one, if let's say go into our body, it will immediately being digest very fast, absorb very fast, the one that actually fluctuate your body sugar level very fast. And also other excess starch from the rice grain will be collected in this inner pot. So in the ceramic strainer is your rice, which is already ready to eat. Okay. So here also briefly explain a recap on what is actually RDS, SDS, and also RS. So RDS is normally if you cook rice, right, you will take some time to cook. Okay, so but then if let's say normal cooker, you will actually cook a long time. Not only that, but if let's say you cook long time, it will actually make the rice become creating more RDS inside the rice. So RDS is rapidly digestible starch, which is the one that we are afraid of. Definitely is very high in GI also. So what we want is actually to go for the more of RS, which is the resistant starch. So resistant starch is good for our body because it's not so easily being break down and then convert into sugar. And at the same time, it also still remain the higher portion of fiber, and it will help our intestinal microflora. Okay. So on the bottom side, you can see the starch in rice undergoes the process of starch gelatinization when it exposed to heat. So the longer it exposed to heat, the more RDS will be produced, and actually is not so good for our health. So this is why in using this cooker, it will actually easier for us. We don't have to soak it. You can cook very fast, and at the same time, you also reduce the RDS production. So next, we want to understand also the rice is cooked and also heated at a high temperature. This is actually the 4-step that also very similar to the earlier slide that we have explained. So the half-cooked rice is being rinsed, and also the rice water is drained into the inner pot. So if you remember, just now I mentioned the traditional way also we can. That means you cook halfway already, then you take out and then you strain, but it's very troublesome. But in this cooker itself, this step 3 is automatically done by the machine itself. And at the same time, in step 4, the RDS and also excess starch is being reduced, and also resistant starch is being increased. So RS, it will also increase. Okay. So if let's say we want to share this cooker with people around us, we need to understand a few selling point of this unit. So first of all, of course, is the main function of it, and the reason why we have this because if you just want to cook a normal rice, right, our existing Noxxa pressure cooker already can do a very good work. But if let's say today you want to focus on creating a low sugar rice that will remove 41% of excess starch from the white rice, this is the one to go to. And if let's say they are looking for more functionality, of course, we'll explain in a later slide also. And then second point that we can explain to them is a large capacity. Because in the market, if let's say you look for other brand that also can do low sugar rice cooking, right? Normally their capacity is slightly lower. Later also we can share with you some of the X brand comparison. Okay, so for this, right, if you are cooking for the using the ceramic strainer, the capacity is up to 3 liter. But if you without that, right, you for other purpose, right, it can up to 5 liter because you are just using the stainless steel inner pot. So number 3 is very easy to maintain. The detachable inner lid for easy cleaning. Okay, you can take out, and then even the inner pot orders you can actually wash easily. Okay, so number 4, easy operation and also convenient. Everything has been written clearly. So even today, if you are new to the unit, you don't know what is the function available, you just follow the instruction on the top of the menu, the control panel, and then you just press whatever function that you want. Then you can actually go for the function already. And durable, high quality material. At the same time, is a 1-year warranty for this Noxxa low sugar rice cooker. Okay, so the material being used is also very high quality stainless steel 304 inner pot with the triple layer of bottom that can ensure the very even heating result. And the ceramic strainer also is specially designed for this low sugar rice that's non-toxic and is also food safe grade material being used. So from the exterior, you can see on the left hand side, the color is also very nice, something like a Tiffany blue, which can match very easily into your modern kitchen. Okay. So other than that, the other points that we didn't mention in the earlier slide is the 10 function of this cooking program. So it's not just merely a rice cooker. So if today, let's say you didn't cook rice, but you want to go for other cooking, then you can make use of it. Other than the 3 different type of rice cooking function, the other 7 functions, including porridge, soup, you can stir fry using the inner pot, and then you can do yogurt also. You can do slow cook. You can do steam. You can also do sterilization. So if you're aware of this, the other 7 functions, right? The one that I can highlight and I feel that is worth selling to people around us is actually stir fry and also sterilize, because these 2 functions is the one that we hardly find in other X brand. Okay, because other restaurants will probably they also got this function, and we don't know whether they have certification to prove that they have they can reduce up to 41% so high or not. And on top of that, the multi-function that they have, they normally don't include stir fries and also sterilization function. So these are all our best selling point that we can actually share with people if you really want to promote this unit. So second is the adjustable cooking time, and then 24 hours, up to 24 hours of keep warm function. And you can also do a preset timer, just like our Noxxa pressure cooker. You can also preset the timer, and then 1-year warranty. Okay, so it's very simple to cook the rice, unlike the traditional rice cooker, whereby if let's say you want to cook low sugar rice, is very troublesome and many steps involved. But for this, it's very easy. You just put in the white rice, maximum 3 cups into the ceramic strainer, and then put the strainer into the inner pot, and then you just pour in water according to your the quantity of your rice, right? So water level 3 mm to 5 mm above the rice surface as a normal reference, and then you close the lid. You just press. If let's say you want to cook for the low sugar one, you just press the low sugar white rice menu. Okay, then it will start to cook. So it will be ready in 45 to 50 minutes, okay, automatically. You don't have to do anything after you press that button, okay, and then it's already ready to serve. Okay, so water collector from the cooking process contains starch, as you can see on the left-hand side. So that is what we don't want. And then the low sugar, fluffy, perfectly cooked white rice look like this, okay? So here at the bottom, is very funny that they do a comparison whereby you'll notice there's no difference. Okay, from the look of the rice itself, there's no difference. We also have Amway have already run some roadshow in our shops, and they also demo on the unit. And then a lot of leaders already try eating the rice, and then it's funny that they do some short clip and telling us the rice actually tastes exactly the same. The texture, the taste of the rice is still same. But the only difference is it gets rid of the things that we don't want, which is the excess starch that will cause obesity and also weight problem. Okay. So these are the 10 functions that we can actually share with people around us. So it's very easy to remember. three functions is mainly targeting for rice. Okay, first of all is of course the low sugar rice. Second rice is for brown rice. Third rice is actually for multi-grain rice. And then after these three functions, the other 7 is exactly totally different function other than rice. So you can do yogurt, you can do slow cook, okay, you can do porridge, you can do steaming, okay, you can do soup, you can also do stir fry, then also do the sterilization. So sterilization, especially you can see the picture is for baby bottles, and even not for baby bottle. If let's say you want to sterilize your utensil, you want to sterilize your kitchen stuff, you can also do so. Okay, so especially for those mommy, you will normally go and purposely buy one sterilizer, right, for your baby bottle or that. So with this cooker, you don't have to, right? You save a lot of space because one unit actually help you to do all those work already, and you can also stir fry. That's the interesting part about this cooker. Okay, so all in all, the conclusion is we want to go for a healthier. At the same time, we still can continue to consume things that Asian and even especially Malaysia that we love to eat, which is rice. So it can help us to reduce content up to 41%. Healthier choice. When we go for the healthier choice and higher RS, lower RDS, it will actually help to control our blood sugar. So when it's more stable, you won't feel hungry very fast. It's still the same bowl of rice, but the effect and also the craving will definitely change. Okay, you feel even more full, and then the higher energy level, because when it's being released at a stable level, you feel more energized throughout the afternoon. For example, after lunch, you won't keep feeling tired, exhausted because of that fluctuation of blood sugar. Okay, so you also enjoy the full benefit of rice, whereby it actually become part of our balanced diet. Okay, when we follow the suku spiral plates, right, sometimes even that suku you feel guilty because it's white rice, and we all know that white rice is high in GI. So now with this cooker, you can actually do a healthier, even healthier suku spiral. Suku spiral is already healthy to be exact, but then with this cooker and this low sugar rice, definitely it help and improve your weight loss journey even faster. So convenient and also effective, perfect for the hectic lifestyle, right? So who can we actually promote to? Not only for people who want to have weight loss, actually a lot of people. So first of all is people who love to eat rice. Okay, they definitely want to have rice for every meal. So this is, if people who love rice, normally they will feel that this investment is definitely worth it because it helps their health, and at the same time they can cook rice more hassle-free, and then we come with other additional function. Okay, so for people who having metabolic concern is troubling a lot of people, especially after 20 years old. Your metabolic rate will come down very fast. So when you come down, you eat heavy meal, heavy carbohydrate meal, you feel tired, you feel exhausted very fast also. So with this cooker, it helps to improve this condition. And then for people who is golden age, so for people who have the elderly at home, you want to give them a gift. Okay, maybe your father or grandpa or your parents or grandparents' birthday is coming soon. You want to look for a healthy option present for them. I think this is a perfect option. Okay, you can actually give it to them, and then I mean 600 over is definitely within the affordability of a working person, or even if you are a student also, you can also afford it through installment, right? And then for the overweight and also obesity issue, we already discussed. I will not go further. And then for people who living a busy lifestyle. So why busy lifestyle need? So just now we mentioned also, where you find the time to soak the rice, all that. So you just want to press one button, and then when it can actually keep warm for 24 hours, afterward you can still eat a very healthy and very warm bowl of rice. Okay, looking to improve the health. Of course, people who have the health awareness, and then having family history of diabetic or pre-diabetic condition. This is highly recommended for people who have diabetic concern around us, or they already have the pre-diabetic syndrome. Okay, so definitely this is the one that they can actually opt for, or people around us that go for blood tests, they notice that, oh, my sugar level, or I already have some diabetic symptom. This can actually become their investment also. So lastly, parents who prioritize their children's health from young. So we also have a lot of children that actually love eating rice, right? Because of the culture, our family cooking, all that, they will adapt to it, and you'll be surprised. Obesity nowadays start very early, especially from the child time, from the kids, from the childhood now. Okay, and there's always a misconception whereby people, when they see obese kids or children, they thought that it's very cute. Yeah, it's true, it's cute, but then if we think on the other side, actually their health has been jeopardized also. So if let's say we want to correct this, or we want to at least reduce the risk of this, then this cooker will be helpful also for parents that who want their children to have a healthier rice. So not listed here is, of course, also if you are thinking of idea for friends who moving in a new house, their new condo unit or whatsoever, and your friend is actually pooling money to actually buy a gift. Okay, definitely this is another new option. Okay, previously we used to like give Noxxa pressure cooker, right? But now this low sugar rice cooker is a very good option. Okay, so this is actually to make a healthier lifestyle. And then this is the comparison between the Noxxa and also the other brand that I mentioned just now. So you notice, first thing that you'll notice, the capacity is different. So for us, with the inner pot is actually 5 liter, but with the strainer, ceramic strainer is 3 liter. So even in the market, you can see a lot of it is a smaller size. Okay. Secondly, the certification and the claim that you will reduce the starch. Ours up to 41% and is being certified by SGS, a very renowned and very prestigious body that actually certified not only home appliance, but a lot of machinery, and also even up to high technology industry like oil and gas also, they do certification for those industry. So we get the certification from SGS that you will reduce 41%. So in the market one, we're not sure. Even they claim that 37%, do they have such certification? Okay. So thirdly, cooking program, 10 programs in the market. Some also 10 programs, certain have 7 programs, but you'll notice one of the different is the one that I have shared with you all. Okay, if you focus on the stir fries, you will notice that none macam don't have other that can do so. Sterilize also same thing. Okay, so why? Because our unit can do is because we have the inner stainless steel pot that allow you to do stir fry thing and all those. And sterilization, you need 2 layers to do the straining process also when you do the sterilization. So there is this bonus 2 function that I feel is even more useful and more multi-versatile for our unit. And for other brands, right, normally there are 10 function, right? Some is very close. Okay, I mean, they just make it into 2 functions, but to me, I feel that it's like a same function, right? Like porridge and congee is almost the same thing, right? But they split it into 2. Okay, so the retail price, of course, you can do the comparison also. But today, whoever in the call now, you know that we can actually get it at a member price, and at the same time, not only member price, you can get it with the CSI, the 10%. If you know how to do it. If you don't know, please reach out to us. We will teach you how to actually do it for yourself or even for your customer. Okay, so it's very worth it because Noxxa, if let's say you are ABO, 670 ringgit. If you have a APC, you can actually leverage to do the 10%. Okay. So that is the end of the slide, but then I have one last piece of information, which is actually the insider news that I mentioned just now. So we also understand some news, okay, release. I'm not sure how true is it until the official announcement, but there's a news saying that once this first batch of Noxxa low sugar rice cooker finish, there'll be a price adjustment also. This is because the supplier, you know that Noxxa is not Amway product, but then they cooperate and also partner with Amway to distribute this awesome product. Okay, so the supplier is already informing the next batch, due to the material, all that, the price will have a slight adjustment. Okay, so if let's say you or yourself or your customer want to still enjoy this 670 ringgit with the option to do EPP, or you have to really take this opportunity, okay, by 15th of this month, you can start placing your order, because once it's finished, and if let's say it come to the new batch, I think they might announce a price adjustment for this Noxxa low sugar rice cooker.